We welcome you into Week 7 of the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman celebrates a homecoming win over the Newberry Wolves, 27-20. Hello, I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Ken, congrats on the homecoming victory, and congrats on another milestone, 14,000 points scored in your 36-year tenure here at Mossy Creek.
What is that average? And can we get some of them carried over to the next week?
Yeah. Let me do the back of the napkin math.
There you go. Quick. Okay. Yeah.
An entertaining game, a game of runs. Scored the first 20. The Newberry rallies for 20 before you really tested in the fourth quarter. What does a game like that do for your team? Well,
I think it really it builds confidence. I think it grows us up. We don't have much choice if we're going to. If we're going to respond to tough situations, we got to be put in tough situations. And that's what we try to do in practice. But practice not the same, of course, as what we went through Saturday. But I thought the fourth quarter was priceless for us as far as growing and developing ourselves. And of course, and as and that, just like we've been talking about so many times, you've heard me talk about. That's kind of the way life is, isn't it? That sometimes we have to suck it up and get in this fourth quarter mode where we have to go get it and get things done. That's not easy to get done. I think the biggest thing that of course we're a young football team, and you know that, and the highs and the lows. The roller coaster ride. We've got to get out of that roller coaster ride because, and I think. Yesterday at halftime, we were able to talk about being the attackers, because that wasn't any question. When we came out of the gate, we were attacking and we were getting after it. But and then the second quarter and part of the third quarter, we were getting attacked, and it was pretty obvious, standing over there watching, and dealing with kids and trying to make adjustments. But then here came the fourth quarter, and we're back on the attack, and thank goodness. Otherwise it could have been a sad homecoming, and they'd been up there hanging me in effigy, and what's that word? Effigy, and that's not my dictionary, but I'll get it in there. So, but anyway, it was a great win, and we're grateful for a group of kids that fought like crazy.
An unlikely hero in that one too, and we'll talk about that when we return. After this on the Ken Sparks Show. Back on the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman gets a 27-20 victory over the Newberry Wolves on homecoming. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Ken, I said before the break, an unlikely hero in this one, 2 blocked kicks, but that unlikely hero, Justin Long, he continues to make plays here in his junior season when he was way down on the depth chart preseason, but continuing to take advantage of the time he's got.
He's one of the best success stories we've had around here in a long time, just as far as just staying faithful and working hard and biding his time, and here he is, playing, and it really is it really gives me good warm fuzzies thinking about that.
The 2 blocked kicks, that's something that hasn't happened this season. What did that do for your team?
Well, it kept them from getting over the hump, because they tied it 20-20, missed the extra point, or we blocked the extra point. Or that might have been the one that hit the goalpost.
I think it might have been tipped at the line. We've got to
Coach upstairs thinks that we tipped it, and one of our defensive coaches thinks we tipped it. And so, and then, so that kept them, they kept it 20-20. And then they come down and they got a chance to go up 23-20, and we blocked the field goal. And what was the other block? I don't even remember.
The other block was at the end of the first half. They're kicking a field goal to get within 3 points.
Yes, so huge. I mean, because, and just like at halftime, the week before, we have a downer right before half, then our opponent has an upper. This game, we have the upper and they have the downer. And it makes all the difference in the world, especially with a young football team that's still trying to figure out exactly who we are, and that those kind of circumstances don't dictate how we play. But right now we still got some of that, unfortunately, but we'll get out of it because we got a good group of kids that's working hard.
Incredible start to the game. You jump out to that 20-0 lead.
Yes.
Largely on the heels of DeAndre Thomas and Damian Baker. And not too bad to score 3 touchdowns in 20 minutes for Damian Baker. What about the job of your senior quarterback and senior running back?
Well, it's his best game so far this year. And, of course, Damian's had a great year, and just the fact that he's so tough and he just relentless. I mean, he just throws his little body in there and says, I dare you to stop me. I mean, that's kind of, he's got an aggressive attitude about it, the way he runs the football. And we really needed Dre yesterday to come through with a great game, and he did. Still missed some reads and still missed some passes, but a couple of times he missed because he had somebody all over him. But that's the kind of game that we need to have in order to keep building on this season. And wasn't the crowd great, especially in the fourth quarter at the end of the game? Well, they were into it, and it really helped us. Most time I don't say that, but this time, I think it was. I think our kids heard them, and I think it was good. And I think it's the first time in my coaching career that I've turned around and done this to the crowd, or did it with my notes, my game notes, I guess. I don't remember. And and they didn't respond much to me, but a couple of our kids did it, and then they started, okay, all right, I know where I stand. So, but it was good. It really was good.
We take a look at the first half highlights. Eagles head into the locker room leading 20-14.
First and 10, Carson-Newman from its own 48. Thomas back to pass, throws a leak out over the middle of the field to the tight end, Janeway. Janeway with a head of steam between the hash marks, and he's caught from behind, down at the 5. Kelly caught him before he could get into the end zone for a 6. But a 48-yard pass and catch. Minute gone in this contest, and the Eagles knock on the door. No score with first and goal at the 3. Ball toward the left hash with Baker and Taylor the split backs. Hand off straight ahead. Baker fighting his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Damian Baker puts a wolf on his back, and he's fired up as he gets into the end zone for his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. 6-0 Eagles. A minute 14 into this one, and Wise on for the point after. Points to show for it. Trying it in the scoreboard for a second time. Ball on the left hash. Thomas takes. The give is to Baker. Too easy. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Damian Baker takes the dive left and gets into the end zone from 4 yards out. His second score of the day. Damian Baker, untouched on the dive left. And Carson-Newman's in front 13-0 with 9.1 ticks left in the first quarter. Leading the Eagles all blue uniforms today. Carson-Newman with a 13-0 lead, and with the football as Thomas drops back to pass, throws it out to the left sideline, complete to Ward in space at the 35. Ward making people miss. He's off to the races. Ward down the left sideline. One man to beat. He cuts it back to the right. 15-10, and he's dragged down from behind inside the 10 along the numbers left side at the 7 by Nate Zijali. A 73-yard catch and run by Trayshawn Ward, making most of that one happen without blocking. X in the student section. 4th and goal from the 1. Thomas takes, give to on the trap right side. Baker, he's in! Touchdown, Carson-Newman. We haven't even played 20 minutes, and Damian Baker has himself his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. The hat trick for Baker. And Carson-Newman in front 19-0 with 10:50 left in the second quarter. Punch it in and make this a single possession game before the half. And Newberry does get the football to begin the second half. Yeldell takes the shotgun snap, play fake. Option keeper left side. Yeldell with blockers across the 5, leaps for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Newberry. Yeldell on the zone read, kept it around the left side of the line, and went airborne to break the plane. And Newberry certainly has all the momentum in this one, scoring 14 unanswered, trying to make it 17 unanswered with 6.8 seconds left in the first half. Ball on the right hash, snaps back, and the ball is blocked at the line. Balin Booker running as the Wolves will pick it up at the 1.
Those are the first half highlights as the Eagles lead Newberry 20-14 at the break. Carson-Newman goes on to beat the Wolves 27-20 on homecoming. Ken, you mentioned the crowd before the highlight package. Just how nice is it on homecoming to have all those folks in attendance, and certainly some people that probably mean a lot to you come back?
No question. I had so many ex-players, and ex-students, and it was a fun occasion. It really was, and even had Sanders Shiver here, which was a second-round draft pick. Played
Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, played 15 years for the Colts, and so that's the first time I'd seen him. I think he came last couple of years just to speak to the team, but it's the first time I'd seen him and he wasn't on the field or anything. He was up there in the stands, and he was waiting for me when I went up to do the post-game show, and I really, really enjoyed seeing Sanders and got a commitment from him to be back down here the next few weeks. So it was good, and I saw a bunch of people that. O.J. Floyd, was on our sideline, who was an All-American here in the 80s when we were winning national championships, and I threatened him about 3 times to put him in the ball game, and we probably don't have any equipment that he can wear now. He's big, and it was just a lot of fun. And I know I'm leaving out a whole bunch of names, but there's a whole bunch of people here that makes you realize that that you've invested into some lives that are bearing fruit. That makes it really exciting.
Any messages to the team from folks like that who were back in town?
Yeah, Melvin Melton, who was the starting linebacker in my first year here. He was here in '79 as a freshman, and then I came, of course, in '80. And he spoke to the team, and he's a very, very successful businessman in Atlanta. And his story was, hey, when I came, new coach came in, there was all kinds of adjustments. And he said, and we had a choice. In fact, his son decided not to adjust, and they didn't play for Coach Park. But some of us who saw where we were headed, bought in, and he said it's the greatest 3 years I've ever had, and he told the team that, and I thought it was a pretty good message, because kids, they have a hard time buying in nowadays. They got so many things pulling at them, and some of them have been convinced because they got a trophy for every team they've ever been on, that they think that they got more answers than anybody's got, and it really makes it tough on them. It really does.
Carson-Newman gets the win over the Newberry Wolves, 27-20. We break down the second half after this on the Ken Sparks Show. Back on the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman collects a 27-20 homecoming victory over the Newberry Wolves to get to 5-2 on the year and 3-2 in South Atlantic Conference play. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Ken, defense stands tall several times in the second half when it matters most. Backs against the wall mentality. What did you like about those crucial moments from your defense?
Well, like I told you when we started, I just liked the way we refused to get beat, our will to win, our will to compete, our will to not let circumstances dictate how we responded, and. Because Newberry wanted to win that ball game, and when we got them 20-0, the Nenalt won since 20-14, and now it's 20-20. Now they've got they've got as much to fight for as we have, and so it was to see our kids keep the faith, stay strong through all of it was a great. It's not been an easy year, and we said it wouldn't be. We said that we're going to start, here and hopefully, but we've done this, which makes it harder to deal with. And but nevertheless, I see progress, and that's what we hope for. At the end of the year, we hope to be a good football team, and I think we got a chance to do that.
It winds up in a 27-20 victory for Carson-Newman, and we take a look at those second half highlights.
Wildcat look. Yeldell in the slot to the right. Doctor in the gun. He'll keep it left side, untouched. Touchdown, Newberry. 20 unanswered for the Wolves. Doctor sprints in around the left tackle out of the wildcat formation for the 3-yard touchdown run with 10:35 left in the third quarter. And everything's square between the Eagles and Newberry. A 25-yarder from the right hash mark. Jansen, check this. This will be Kyle Clark. Snaps back, hold is down. The kick is blocked at the line. The Eagles will pick it up with Brandon Ballard. And Ballard drives his way forward between the hash marks up to the 15. Second blocked kick of the afternoon for the Eagles. 3:42 left in the third quarter, and we're still tied at 20. 4th and 11, Wolves from the Carson-Newman 30. Shotgun snap back. Yeldell keeps it, and he is obliterated by Lane Bloom. The Wolves turn it over on downs off the backside blitz from Bloom. And that has the Eagles sideline fired up. Second down, 25 to go. Thomas takes, dive, up the middle to Baker. Baker splitting the hash marks to the house. Touchdown! Carson-Newman! All 22 finally goes for 6 for Carson-Newman. The dive straight up the gut has the Eagles in front, 26-20 with 7:14 left in the fourth quarter. Damian Baker, his 4th score of the day. This one from 29 yards. 3rd and 8 for the Wolves from their own 42. Shotgun snap back to Yeldell. Eagles bring pressure up the middle. It's a screen out the right sideline. Doctor makes one man miss, but he won't make the second. Jason Williams. 35 seconds left, down 27-20. Blair back to pass. Hit in the backfield. Blair goes down. Oh boy! A sack will end it for the Eagles. Jason Cook Calhoun bounces Blair down.
Those are the second half highlights as Carson-Newman picks up its 27-20 homecoming win over the Newberry Wolves. When we come back, it's time for the Eagles Spotlight. And Michael Watrang shines it on center Derek Evans when we come back after this. Back on the Ken Sparks Show, Carson-Newman gets a homecoming win over the Newberry Wolves, 27-20. Time now for our Eagle Spotlight, and this week Michael Watrang puts it on starting center Derek Evans.
Senior center Derek Evans began his playing career at FCS Appalachian State. After sustaining a concussion after his first season, Evans decided that a change in venue, as well as a change in offensive philosophy, was the best decision for him.
I think for me personally, it's probably one of the best things I've ever done, hands down. I loved App. It was a great school, and I enjoyed some of the guys I played with up there. But it was a little different place by far compared to here. And football-wise, the offense we ran, obviously, I mean, I'd started there at center for a little bit, but it wasn't the best for what I was really built for to begin with.
Veteran offensive line coach Mike Turner saw the need for a talented leader in the front line after the graduation of All-American Kevin Day, and has seen the growth of Evans during his career.
Well, Derek has come a long way in his 3 years here. You know, when you look back at video 3 years ago, that was Derek's first year, and we brought him here. We lost a great center, and we needed somebody that could step in immediately. And he's a transfer from Appalachian State. Derek has grown a long, long way. Probably one of the most important ways I think Derek's grown is through his maturity, through his leadership. Grown a lot in his heart through the Lord. Is becoming a dependable young man.
Evans started his 30th game at center on homecoming against Newberry, and he credits former teammates for his transition to Carson-Newman.
It's been a blast. Going from my first season here where I was still trying to learn some of the stuff I needed to do and what we were doing sometimes. So I had guys like Alex Taylor and Lucas Mathis playing guard next to me, and Robbie helped me out through every step as I slowly got, more adjusted to it, from running spread where I was looking for walk-up linebackers, all kinds of other stuff, and just sitting on my heels, snapping the ball to where I was on all fours, basically. Heavy-handed, it was a completely different thing for me for a while, but they helped me get through it, and 2 years spent a blast.
After the graduation of All-American Robbie Ignani a season ago, the Eagles were looking for a leader up front. And junior right guard Austin Lewis has seen Evans slide into that role this year.
As an offensive lineman, you really need somebody that brings that kind of that fight, that attitude. We had that in Robbie last year, and I think Derek's really stepped up into that role. He's kind of brought like the meanness and the toughness to the group, and definitely is kind of a spark plug going in week in and week out.
Some may think going from an FCS school to a Division II program is a step back, but Evans has seen his move to Mossy Creek as a blessing.
But come from here, I mean, you just learn to be humble here, period. I mean, they teach you, you know, the importance of teamwork and friends and being humble and worshiping God, you know. I mean, and a lot of places don't really teach you that at all. I know when I was up that, I don't want to sound mean to them at all, but when I was up that, it was more self-centered, whereas, you know, here it's more of a team effort. You worry about your teammates, you worry about your brothers ahead of everything else.
Carson-Newman coach Ken Sparks said that Evans is a great leader because he leads by example. The Alcoa native intends to continue his altruistic way taught by Carson-Newman when he graduates. Evans wants to become a police officer and continue to serve the community. For the Ken Sparks Show, I'm Michael Watrang.
Thank you very much, Michael Watrang. Ken Sparks, Derek Evans, 30 straight games now is the starting center.
That's unusual, isn't it?
Turn your head twice and bam, he's spent 3 seasons now.
Right, that's hard to believe. It seems like it was day before yesterday when he got here. And he's really improved. And what I like about Derek, he's improved in his approach to things. You know, at one time, him and me and all of us probably could be called an excuse maker maybe. And now to see the way he's grown and developed and been a leader for us, you know. And so because, you know, excuse makers can't make much leaders, you know. And so it's great to see what he's done. And he's a pretty important part of this football program.
Turn your attention now to a Wingate club who we presume will be in the national rankings next week. They're sitting just a couple spots out, but big win over Lenore-Rhyne for the Bulldogs at Moritz Stadium. First time that a team has won there in 5 years. And snaps LR's 22-game conference win streak. What challenges do Joe Reich's Bulldogs pose?
Well, they have, you know, all year they've been the surprise team, and at one time was allowing less than 7 points a game after about 3 or 4 games, only allowing 7 points a game. And so that's unheard of these days because, you know, everybody's fun and gun and spreading it all over the place and, you know, playing basketball on the grass and, you know, and it's been an interesting thing for somebody to come up with defensive answers and to play with defensive personnel that has had its success that Wingate's had. So we know we got our hands full, and we got to go play.
Ken, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you next week against the Bulldogs.
Thank you.
That is Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Ken Sparks Show. Thanks for watching.